Lagos is a coastal city as well as a mega city. It has great potential to develop water transportation to a highly competitive level, and this is what the Akinwumi Ambode administration is strongly committed to achieving. Hello and welcome to Inside Lagos, and many thanks to my colleague Theophilus Elama for standing in for me while I was away, and especially you for being there for us. I'm Adedoja. Salam Adeni. It's good to be back. It all started from Abuja.
Excellency, congratulations.
This is coming after APC party chieftains, members, supporters had repeatedly called on Ambode to seek a second term as governor of Lagos State. It was an instantaneous expression of joy and excitement as scores of residents and party faithful defied the Monday downpour to welcome the Lagos helmsman back to Lagos. Ambode began by thanking all who stood with him in the last 3.5 years of selfless service.
With your support, we have made Lagos a better place and changed the face of our state. I did not do it alone. We did it together because you believed. Our state has remained steadily prosperous because of your positive outlook.
The governor thanked the national leader of APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for his support.
I thank all members of our great party, the All Progressives Congress, our political leaders, most especially our national leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for giving me the platform to contribute to the further growth and development of our state. I am not tired, and I am sure you feel the same way, because we all envision a better Lagos, a Lagos of our dreams. So, by this humble process, of which I have obtained the nomination form, I humbly call you again to give me your support.
In their goodwill messages, other party chieftains also appreciated the APC national leader.
We are very happy to endorse him for the second time on the instruction of our leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Asiwaju, thank you, Sao. Baba wa emashi, shele kowa lo shelu, te o kowa lo je. Asiwaju, thank you, Sao. Baba wa emashi.
To many Lagosians, picking up the form is as good as the governor being sworn in for a second term. Many said Ambode picking up the forms means for more years of infrastructure development, economic prosperity, youth employment opportunities, and more landmark projects like the Ikeja bus terminal, Oshodi transport interchange, 10-lane roads, 24-hour economy with adequate security. Ambode picking up the forms means putting Lagos on the global tourism map, and in a nutshell, 4 years of good governance. It is not by accident that Lagos is called the state of aquatic splendor. It is apparent as 25% of its entire space is covered by water. But its abundant water resource neither impacts its economy nor enhances its transportation system. This is because activities on its waterways were off its control. Until 2017, its waterways were controlled by the federal government. In 2008, the Lagos State government decided to chart a new course and explore its waterfront potential. Its first move was to create the Lagos State Waterways Authority, LASWA, and repealed the law establishing the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, a federal government agency responsible for regulating the waterways in Nigeria. Lagos State government and the federal government went head-to-head in the Supreme Court over the control of the multi-million naira inland waterways in Lagos area. On July 19, 2017, the Court of Appeal gave judgment in its favor, The state called an interministerial press briefing at Alausa to tell Lagos State residents its plans.
The Lagos State government is very pleased with the outcome of this suit that reaffirms the constitutional right of a state government to control its inland waterways. In this age of very lean resources, where every state is trying to increase its internally generated revenue, this judgment is a breath of fresh air for us, and it will also help the Lagos State government restore its environment and control the menace of flood, among other things.
At the press briefing, the Lagos State government issued a 7-day ultimatum to boat operators, dredgers and others within the Lagos inland waterways. Soon after the briefing, the state government went straight to the drawing board. It came up with a bi-dimensional strategy. On the one hand, the state looked at decongesting its roads by providing a safe, fast and cheap alternative transportation network on its waterways. Its other strategy was to unlock the tourism potential on its waterways and make them attractive to investors. Both strategies lie in creating safe routes, rehabilitating existing infrastructure and creating more ferry terminals. The state government thereafter identified 30 water routes and began their channelization. The waterways are to be designed to enhance 24-hour operations. On November the 5th, 2017, Lagos State government inspected its ongoing waterways projects. Governor Akinwumi Ambode was at the Waterway with his team to tour the channelization projects via the routes that millions of Lagos residents will be traveling on. With the 3 new official boats he first inaugurated.
For the very first time in the history of the state, we are about to commission official boats that actually belong to Lagos State government. The 3 boats here that we're commissioning, we've discovered that sometimes we do not have the ability for our officials to go on the waterways to actually address issues that relate to people or relate to citizens that actually live alongside the waterways. As you are aware, 25% of Lagos is water, and it's important that we put in the right perspective the economy that we can actually make to thrive on our waterways and the people living along the waterways, to bring them into proper perspective. You also notice that sometimes when dignitaries come from other countries or head of states or even other official set of people that come into the states, they are not able to actually see the true side of Lagos from the waterways perspective. And that's why the state government decided that we will procure official boats that will help us to be able to achieve that tourism fight that we're trying to embark on, to be able to allow people to see the great potentials of Lagos State.
He unveiled the state government's plan to bring in commercial ferries.
You begin to see all this at the end of the first quarter of 2018, and we believe strongly also that our own boats by government and the ones from the private sector will start to bed the waterways of Lagos, and we'll be able to use that to complement what it is that we have on our roads, and then we'll be able to use it to complement the future of what we are trying to plan for the rail system. The bulk of Lagosians walk on the way, they walk on the roads. Over 6 million people walk every day on the roads of Lagos. So it's very important for us to also create walkways alongside the roads that we are doing, and then do a major connectivity between our water terminals and road transportation. And that's what you begin to see in the area of Badore, Aja, Mile 2, Badagry, Ikorodu, and other places that we've decided to plan. It takes a lot of logistics to bring in these ferries, so it might just be that, you know, the first set of things that we're doing is the official boats that you see here, but the major transportation ones will be coming in from February 2018 onwards. It's also important for us to also say here that we have procured jet skis to be able to also fight crime on our waterways, and also for the safety of the people who are using our waterways. We are strongly committed to the comfort of Lagosians. We are committed to making sure that life is better for everyone, and that we promise to do and that we are on our way to deliver.
Governor Ambode proceeded to one of the new boats for an adventurous sail. His ferry took the lead and others followed. For 1.5 hours on water, the governor and his team inspected the channelization and upgrade of jetties. They moved from Ozumba Mbadiwe via Orange Island to the Lekki foreshore. On July the 27th, 2018, the Lagos State government held a roundtable on water transportation. It was a discussion amongst stakeholders on how to unlock the state's water transportation potential. To unseal this potential, the discussants first identified the challenges.
Getting to the critical point is the regulations and policy. The regulations are actually there. A few issues here and there, but I think those regulations, even with the operators, that's where the main challenge has been coming.
Foreign and local investors, development partners, and waterways commuters also tabled their ideas on how to make Lagos waterways cleaner and safer.
We are concerned about the level of regulation, that is, who comes into the business, the operators, vessels they use.
Governor Akinwumi Ambode said he is committed to following the outcome of the gathering through.
1/5 of Lagos is water. Why did we not just think of other modes of transportation? So if we're looking at the areas that we're looking at rail, and then we're trying to do bus reform system, so we need to focus specifically on water.
One of the high points of this gathering was the signing of a partnership between the Lagos State government and the Food and Beverages Recycling Alliance on the cleanup of Lagos waterways. On August 30, 2018, the Lagos State government demonstrated its commitment to developing water transportation in the state by unveiling an ultra-modern ferry terminal and headquarters of the Lagos State Waterways Authority in Falomo. The edifice was delivered through a public-private partnership arrangement with MTN Nigeria. Governor Ambode, who also inaugurated a multi-level car park on the premises, revealed that the government is doing all it can to ease traffic in the state by exploring the potential of water transportation in the state. Governor Ambode, who was represented by the state's Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Adeniji Kazeem, said the administration would continue to take advantage of water transportation to create opportunities for businesses to thrive and ease of movement for commuters.
The long-term objective is to reduce the pressure on our roads as our people increasingly embrace water transportation system. Ladies and gentlemen, our government will continue to protect the interest of those using the waterways as we remain committed to providing the entire residents of Lagos with quality, affordable waterborne transport services and ensure that our state waterways are safe and secure.
Inside Lagos visited the 5 Cowries terminal, which was recently inaugurated by the Lagos State government, to see the facility.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming today.
I was welcomed by the General Manager of the Lagos State Waterways Authority, LASWA, Damilola Emmanuel. We can see through from your office?
Yes, it's a beautiful view. I'm sure you can see that it's a beautiful view. It shows you the entire 5 Cowrie Creek. You have appreciation for our waterways with this kind of facilities. And Lagos State is at the forefront of showcasing what ideally should be normal on our waterways. This kind of infrastructure shows you that things are possible in Lagos State, because this is an excellent PPP with commendation to MTN who are seeing what Lagos State is trying to do in developing its waterways and also taking the ease of its citizens. And that's why they've sort of supported the current drive to shift transportation just from the roads onto the waterways as well. So I mean, that's what you see in this building. It's a modern terminal that has 20 berthing spaces, and then it has a lovely sitting area downstairs. And so that people are also encouraged, it also has a park and ride. So you can park your cars. There's a car park dedicated to the jetty. So you can park your car and actually come onto the jetty. Once you're back again and you disembark, you can get down and then pass through, get back to your car and then move.
Yeah, Yeah, not quite long, the Lagos State government embarked on channelization of these
waterways. Yes.
I'd like to know how many have
Yes.
done.
So basically,
can we just go through?
Absolutely. And I'll do that for you. I'll be a gentleman and do that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, this is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the channelization?
So in terms of the channelization, we've had 4 routes.
Okay.
4 routes out of the 12 major routes which have been channelized onto the waterways. And now what you're currently seeing is that there's a need to show that the channels, the right path for water transportation is evident and is seen clearly. Because I'm sure you know there are different waterways users, and Lagos recognizes that, look, there are different waterways users, we must make sure we cater for every single one of them. So that channelization is actually a process where you say this is actually the channel strictly for water transportation, so that the sand miners, the loggers, the fishermen, don't interfere, because it's open for everyone to use. But the waterways channel must be channelized appropriately, and that channelization involves dredging and also putting what you call marker buoys, who serve as identification marks on the waterways, showing you that this is the direction in which you should be going. Absolutely.
Construction of jetties, I remember.
Yes. There's also the construction of jetties. I'm sure you know, without the jetties and infrastructure, I mean, you don't have anywhere to berth. And these jetties were existing before, but they had to be upgraded, while the terminals as well had to be concession and operationalized, because those terminals as well serve as a major infrastructure on the waterways, also aiding the jetties as well.
Now, I can see that yellow boat there. What is it about?
Well, that yellow boat is a newer vessel on the waterways. I'm sure you know what we've had is the locally made ones over time. Those are the locally made ones have been the ones who've plugged the gap for the longest time ever. And they as well appreciate and know that, look, there's a need for them to as well upgrade their own vessels. So this kind of vessel is a newer vessel which you're currently seeing on our waterways, and which we hope to see. And we eventually look for a way as well to make sure we absorb even the current, local operators as well, so that they too can upgrade their vessels to meet the standards which we should see on our Lagos waterways.
I'm so concerned about the life jackets, because like somebody told me that some of these life jackets from boat operators are not good enough.
Yes.
They are just as you're wearing another vest on your outfit. How are you looking into that?
Well, the life jackets thing is something that we as well are passionate about, and for us, safety has been a key watchword in all of this. Last one has been focused on ensuring safety. So in terms of the life jacket, one of the things we've been able to do is that the state government has taken upon itself, apart from when we go around to seize those life jackets and make sure we also impound their boats. The state government has also gone ahead to purchase life jackets, even on behalf of private operators, to supplement what they have, to show them that, look, we are telling you, you must have the proper life jacket. But the state government is also taking a step ahead to say, even those life jackets you have, we're even going to donate some to you as well to supplement what you have. So over the last 3 years, the state government has given out over 2,500 life jackets across the waterways. And even this year in the last quarter, another 2,000 will be distributed across the waterways again from the state government, while we also carry out enforcement for those who are going against the laws of which you should not have substandard life jackets on our waterways.
So you have monitoring teams?
Absolutely. We have a monitoring team and a patrolling team which goes round the waterways to ensure that if you find anybody with any life jacket which is not up to standard, and we always tell the passengers, we need you to report. We're also calling on other private sector players to support what the state government is doing, because the benefit is across board.
It took me around the terminal and its operations.
This is the general area. So you come in, you would get your ticketing over there.
Okay.
And then you proceed through the turnstiles. And then you have your...
Just like airports.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And then you have your sitting area over here as well. And then on the first floor, we have a cafeteria, which you quickly grab a bite. You can quickly grab a bite while you're waiting for it. And then on the screens there, you'll be able to see your boats. You will be able to see what time, next boats and all of that. Yeah, that's the whole plan. That's all what's been put together in place.
it's of international standard.
Ensure, yeah.
Damilola Emmanuel and I are set to go on a boat ride. For safety as usual, we put on our safety jackets. This is the Five Cowries Creek, which spans across the Mekwen Bridge and Lekki-Ikoyi Link Bridge area.
So what are you people doing about water pollution?
Well, water pollution is an ongoing thing. The state government procured 2 water removal machines, as you are aware, last year. And what they generally do now is take each division and the machines are deployed to be able to clean the waterways. However, I'm sure you are also aware from the last summit we had, private sector parties are also getting involved in the cleaning of the waterways now. They formed a consortium, and they as well.
Started working?
No, they're going to start they should start towards the end of September. Well, the helicopter there, you see the helipad over there as well. But it's all part of the thing we talk about intermodal transportation. So, for example, some people might decide to use the helicopter, and then if you see there's a jetty over there as well. So, getting out from a helicopter, you'll be able to get onto a jetty and move. It's all part of intermodal transportation.
That is what Lagos State government is trying to do.
So, you want to come through here?
Yeah. Okay, we can enjoy ourselves.
One of the very things you see is that we have 2 million passengers moving on a monthly basis.
Okay.
All over the waterways.
In Lagos State?
In Lagos State, yes.
2 million?
2 million.
Okay, already moving?
On a monthly basis, yes.
Okay, are you, with all these facilities, I mean, all the things that Lagos State government is trying, to put in place with a population of 24 million people, and the population is going to hit 51 million in 20 years' time, that would be very huge. What is the Lagos State government's view about increasing that? I mean, that should be increased. 2 million people presently. What exact number are you looking at in the future?
Absolutely. When we have the upgrade of the infrastructure and operationalizing of those terminals, then you can have more passenger movement. In line, like I said to you, with as well, the influx of more vessels onto the waterways, the channelization, and the setting up of the safety systems, which is the emergency and rescue, and also the control room, which I spoke to you about. All of these things together, and the removal of the wrecks as well on the waterways and any kind of impediment.
Exactly.
All of these kind of things is what you will then see. All of these kind of things, what you will then see to bring about more passenger movement onto the waterways.
I'd like to know the prospects and opportunities of this mode of transportation.
Well, the opportunities obviously, will be the commercial operations and also tourism opportunities.
Tourism, really good.
Tourism, I mean, we're surrounded by water. 1/5 of Lagos is water. So there's a huge tourism potential. On the weekend, you see how people move from these various destinations to Lashe and all the beaches. And with more tourist boats on the waterways, you have a massive amount of people. With the Shoki coming up as well, there will be massive movement from people across from the mainland to the island, thereby decongesting the roads as well. Yes.
Okay, what are the other things discussed at the summit? Aside from, we've known that a company is taking up, the pollution of the waterways, they say they're going to be responsible for it. What are the other things?
Well, one of the other things
Lagos can look for in future.
One of the critical things that's going to be there is the manufacturing of vessels.
Manufacturing of vessels.
Yeah. So basically, building local capacity to be able to build standard vessels, because there's a high cost. Water transportation has a high cost in bringing those vessels in when you import them in.
Okay, we are behind Civic Center now.
Yeah, we're behind Civic Center. Yeah, it's so with that, building local capacity to be able to build vessels is another critical thing that was discussed there. Yeah, and a South African company has shown interest in actually doing that, and there will be many more, so that even locally you can fix all of those vessels as well. Yeah.
It was fun all the way having a chat with the general manager of LASWA on water. To cap off the time out with Damilola Emmanuel, we decided to show off a shaku shaku dance steps.
Beautiful Lagos.
Yeah.
Land of mercy, land of success. For Lagos, everything is done change.
This one that I just listened.
I say Governor Body is doing a great job. Street lights all over Lagos. He's bringing out the beauty in Lagos. From Third Mainland to Keja, no more traffic. He and no go Alapere, he don't set to. Business good for Lagos. See boys they have.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a wonderful time speaking with you, having fun on the boats. Really appreciate you, the GM Laswa, Mr. Damilola Emmanuel.
Thank you so
Many
much.
thanks for coming up on the show.
Thank you so much.
And we've talked about Lagos water transportation and of course the prospects and opportunities lied in it. And really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
That has been a package for today. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Adido Salam Adini. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Come to Lagos. I go carry you past you to do
Lagos. Oh yeah, see that means
I go show you the first cinema
this camera. Oh yeah, to down out the elevator. Oh yeah, that one can give somebody a headache. You don't even have to dance that one.
You do enjoy yourself, remember to
Turn around. Adam's body don't see.
come and see how you go to do business for Lagos.
Okay.
Makawai.